German International Corporation and the European Union on Wednesday laid down foundation stone for the construction of 4 model police stations in the Greater Banjul area. The groundbreaking ceremony took place at the Serekunda police station. Moses Imendi has the details in this report.
In addition to capacity building and development trainings to equip security components in the ongoing strive for security sector reforms, the Gambia Police Force is set to benefit from a joint German-EU support project implemented by the German International Cooperation (GIZ) and co-funded by the EU. Through the support, a foundation stone for the construction of 2 model police stations in Serekunda and Bundung respectively has been laid today to mark the commencement of works. The construction of the 4 model police stations is inspired by the drive to meet quality standard of law enforcement infrastructure in the country. It is to be done by the Santayala Business Center after emerging winners of a competitive bidding process. The 4 model police stations are expected to reach full completion by June next year. To Corrado Pampaloni, the EU ambassador to the Gambia, the occasion is a watershed moment in the history of the Gambia Police Force. He gave details of the facilities of the model police stations to be erected.
Among other facilities, the model police station to be erected here in Serekunda and Bundung will include a reception area, separate interview rooms for criminal investigation and sexual and gender-based violence, crimes and offenses. These interview rooms will accord victims the much-needed privacy that was lacking at the police station hitherto. Exhibit stores for proper storage of evidentiary materials recovered from crime scenes or during criminal investigations. Separate detention facility for male, females, and juveniles. These facilities will be removed from public view to protect the human rights of the detainees. Meeting rooms for internal briefings and meeting with community members for community policing purposes. Kitchenette for the officers to take their meal breaks. Sanitary facilities for police officers, detainees, and visitors. And of course, adequate offices for the officers to serve their respective community.
The EU ambassador hopes that the construction of the police stations will spur proactive policing, better treatment of inmates, as well as significant reduction of crime in the Greater Banjul area. Dr. Marion Pop, country component manager of the GIZ, said, for the police force to meet the minimum standard of best practices, model police stations must be rehabilitated. She also spoke of the agreed points at consultative meetings with actors.
And how can we ensure that these buildings last for the next 50 years, or 70, as Akalo mentioned? All these points were discussed and agreed on in consultative meetings with the GPF, as well as with other international partners such as UNDP, UNICEF, and DCAF. There was agreement that model police stations should have holding cells for suspects in police custody that provide enough space so that they fulfill human rights standards. Women and men in police custody should be kept separate. Sanitary facilities should be accessible. There should be a separate room for the child welfare unit. This is important so that survivors of gender-based violence and children can feel safe and comfortable to report their cases. Last but not least, a police station should also provide a conducive working environment for police officers. Yesterday, I visited police stations in URR. There, police stations are in a very desolate condition. And I heard police officers say that being transferred to such a station was regarded as punishment. So this, of course, is not an acceptable situation. It will not encourage professional policing if police officers feel punished.
Mamadou Sow, Deputy Inspector General of the Police, speaking on behalf of the Inspector General, said, "The project is a fruit of high-level discussions between ministries responsible for foreign and internal affairs with German counterparts," adding that the police force is entitled to evolvement.
As the police is insuated to oversee the continuation of society, it is imperative that the police and the society move side by side in order to meet the trying times of society. Because if society is evolving and the police is not evolving, one of them will be left behind. And these are two institutions that go side by side. They can't follow one another. So in that endeavor, it is imperative that as long as society's changes is not predicted and is not controlled by the police, but the other way around. As far as society is changing, the police should be changed. The police should be changing. So an infrastructural refurbishment is an integrated part of trying to catch up in that particular adventure.
The GIZ and the Gambia Police Force also agreed on various outcome areas such as enhancement of human capacity including gender equality, professionalization of community policing, provision of policing equipment, training of personnel to handle sexual and gender-based violence. Moses Imende, Eyeafrica News.